That's up way too high. Let's pull that down. There we go. Hi everybody, I am Nightfire Ox. Today we are doing a new chapter reaction to the Tower of God. If you haven't been on my channel before or my stream, either one, whichever you see this on YouTube or Twitch, hello, welcome. I'm Nightfire Ox. Tonight, like I said, we're doing Tower of God. Tomorrow, just a regular Tower of God rereads like we normally do during the week. And then Tuesday, solo leveling. The next 2 Wednesdays are going to be different. Cubera is going to be on... Cubera is going to be done the next few Wednesdays. I had a shoot last Saturday, yesterday, and it was a newborn shoot. For those of you who don't know, I am a photographer. That is what I do in my everyday life. And the shoot went okay, but because it was a newborn shoot, sometimes babies just aren't very cooperative when you need them to be. So we're going to go back. I'm going back again next Saturday to shoot the rest of the shoot because about halfway through, he just wasn't having it anymore. And at that point, I thought, well, instead of bugging him some more and making him even more mad, let's go ahead and instead just call it here. But for what I got, the pictures are super cute. Maybe I'll post a few of them up on my Twitter if you guys are interested in seeing some of the work I do throughout the week on my normal job. If you can call photography a normal job. But anyway, so the next 2 Wednesdays is going to be Cubera. Normally I don't do anything. And also from now on Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing Omniscient Reader. So we'll do our chapter reaction to Omniscient Reader because I'm pretty sure that comes out on Wednesdays. I'll double check tomorrow, make sure it comes out on Wednesdays. I'm pretty sure it does. But I guess I need to make sure it comes out at an appropriate time on Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll do it on Thursdays. And we'll switch to Tower of God and that around. And we shall see. But no matter what, we're going to be doing a Wednesday Omniscient Reader and then Cubera. I am going to have to redo my schedule a little bit because I need to add a new one in. But if we're also... because we're caught up with Omniscient Reader and I have some more requests. But the problem is... I need to pick like a day in which I'm going to do that. So it probably won't start for a few weeks. And what I'll probably end up doing is chapter reaction for Omniscient Reader on Wednesday first. Because the new chapter reactions, they only take about 30-40 minutes typically to do. They're my shorter videos. And then I'll do Ella Seed will be the next webtoon I do. And that will probably be done pretty much right after that one. So that is the plan. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. Let me get the music going again. We are going to be, I believe today is all about that sword. Hot's is ignition weapon. Dong A, I think it's what it's called. First, we gotta switch it up. Alright, here we go. The episode contains depictions of violence that may be upsetting for some readers. So, you should know by now watching my streams. Normally, every single thing I do has some sort of violence in it. Everything I read or play. So, I haven't played a game in a while because I've been doing these. The new Ace Attorney game is coming out in a few days, so you may see a little switch up to where I play the new Ace Attorney game, which will probably be done on the weekends, so that way I can sit down and actually like play it. Just so you know that there may be a little bit of a break of normal stuff, routine stuff. I'll let you know for sure. But that seems to be what we're going to be doing, because I really want to play that game and I want to play it on stream. Anyway, let's get to it. Just know that you've been warned. If you don't like gory stuff, there's probably going to be gory stuff in this episode. The war stuff has been particularly nasty. I guess that's the best way to put it when it comes to gore. White's fight, I can't remember his name now, but the guy with the multiple arms, that new general, I think it was, or commander. That was not a pretty fight. Anyway. I'm originally from a branch of one of the 10 great families, but because of a situation where my parents grew up with the main family, ever since I was little, I've always been closer to animals than to people. At first I thought this was Coon down here, so I was like trying to read in Coon's voice, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. And okay, anyway, we'll continue to read. I think this is talking about the bad guy, because he like said something about animals before. I don't think it's Coon, although it does kind of look like him from this angle. And then the 10 great families. Anyway. Ever since I was a little boy, I've always been closer to animals than to people. But same. As an indirect descendant, I felt alienated by the people in the main family who looked down on me. But animals are so straightforward about their feelings that I could relate to them right away. When I gave animals love, they gave the same love back to me. They never betrayed me. After becoming regular and climbing to the tower in spite of opposition from the people around me, I chose to become an anima. Yeah, it's that one dude. I figured. Look at that kitty. Well, it looks like a cat anyway. Rather than dominating animals and forcing them to obey me, I chose to get closer to them by giving them love. Alright. So, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys watch Dr. Bonehead. If you don't, I would recommend him, especially if you like Tower God. He does a lot of Tower God content where I do more like overall content of Webtoon and reactions when people ask me to react to things. I just do Tower God because Tower God is my favorite Webtoon and I enjoy it, basically. He had a video, I think it was this week, that I watched, where he was talking about how people were complaining about chapters like these where they have recaps in them, that they're too long and stuff. And I just want to like go off of his point that he made, that this stuff is necessary for Tower of God. Like, I don't know if you guys watch anime or if you're just strictly Webtoon or whatever, but even like in regular anime, when the protagonist is fighting the bad guy, right? There's always like a little bit of a backstory that lets you know a little bit about the villain, right? And some people say that's unnecessary, but I think it's very necessary because it gives them their own motives, feelings. It makes them feel more like a person rather than just a character in a story, which is what you want. You don't want a character, like, I guess there are some stories where you're reading and all you really care about is the guy beating in, like, don't get me wrong, I like stuff like that too, where it's just a super overpowered protagonist and he goes in and just kicks the villain's butt. Don't get me wrong, I love that stuff, but Tower of God is not one of those stories, and I feel like it's unfair to just give the protagonists, the people we care about, their own stories without showing their stories as well, because I think it's very fair to see why are they fighting for Jihad, why are they fighting for Yusracha. It also, like Dr. Bonehead said, builds up Yusracha's character as well, and so I think it's very important that we see these backstories. And I do find it a bit disappointing that there are people who just don't seem to know or care and then complain that it's like a wasted chapter basically, and that's not the case. This isn't a story where the bad guy just gets beat up and that's the end of it. This is the Tower of God. And if you're wanting those kinds of stories, there are other stories like that out there. Tower of God is just not one of them, and it's disappointing that there are people who have read this far and still don't understand that. And I'm not trying to like hate on the community or anything. It is just a little irritating when, you know, all the comments you see on the Reddit all day long is just, I don't like these chapters. These chapters are dumb. SIU shouldn't have spent so much time on it and things like that, because it is, to me, it's necessary. I agree with Dr. Bonehead on that. But anyway, like I said, if you have not seen him, I would go check him out, because he is amazing. I've been watching his content for some time now. He's probably one of my favorite content creators on YouTube. Anyway, let's continue reading. I just had a rant about that. It took a long time, but I thought that was the best way to become a true anima. As I climbed the tower, I arrived at a certain village. Hold on. And heard that the people there were having some trouble because of some giant wild rabbits that come down from the mountain. Because of their enormous size and extraordinary fertility, the rabbits weren't easy to get rid of. Upon hearing that, I went to check out the mountain behind the village and found the rabbits' den. Seeing how many of them there were, I knew that the army would probably be called in to deal with them soon. Before the army could come and kill the rabbits, I offered to get rid of them for the villagers first. I found that the giant rabbits come down to the village in search of food, so we temporarily locked every door in the village. And in one part of the village, I put down some of their favorite food coated in a drug for reducing their fertility. As I expected, the rabbits swarmed that spot for food. And I went there every day and gave the rabbits food myself. At first, most of the giant rabbits avoided me, but over time, they gradually let their guard down. After a lot of hard work, I finally managed to bring them under my control and stop them from reproducing. Then, I gathered the villagers together and told them how to coexist peacefully with the rabbits. I told them that they may lack food now because of the rabbits, but as the rabbits' population decreases, the situation would soon improve, and the villagers listened to me. I taught the villagers how to befriend the rabbits, and rabbits became their pets. Over time, the number of giant rabbits on the mountain decreased dramatically, and I stayed there for a long time because people recognized me as an expert on the rabbits. A long time after that, suddenly, a lot of rabbits were found dead around the village. Witnesses said that some monsters from the mountain had done it. People were terrified by the appearance of the unidentified monster. I headed over to the mountain on request of the villagers. I thought that even the most terrible monster could be befriended with good, genuine intentions, but that belief of mine was shattered the moment that I saw it. Oof. That's creepy. It was as big as a castle. As a castle? Oh, I guess that's him right there. Oh, that's pretty big. With a flaming mane and two terrifying heads. It was unlike any animal I had ever seen before. I couldn't even imagine befriending it. I felt so helpless. The monster soon slipped away into the darkness. I returned to the village, and seeing that even I didn't know what to do, the scared villagers suggested that they bring the army. A few days after that, someone named Yasracha appeared. See what I mean? This is like the deal. All these stories so far with these villains, their stories have revolved around Yasracha in some sense. How they met him, what happened. That's why these stories are important, because we don't really get a whole lot of backstory from Yasracha himself, so we need to surmise who he is from other people and with their backstories. I'll tell you what, how I've surmised him is that this dude's a jackass, okay? I do not like Yasracha. He may be, like, and I don't dislike him because he isn't powerful or anything like that. I dislike him because of his personality. Just straight up, I don't think he's a good dude, like, at all. There's no redeeming qualities to him. And I know, like, some people on the Reddit were saying that, well, he let Yama and his brothers go free when they were younger and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but he feels like animals are superior and that he's the most superior among them. So it wasn't that he was doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He was doing it out of control. Hold on. Okay. He said that he was familiar with the monster that had appeared in this village and that he knew how to deal with it. He was confident that he could overpower it. Soon, the battle began. There were flashes of light on the mountain, some loud noises. Kabam! Pow! Bang! And Yasracha came back with the unconscious monster. Look how big that thing is. He was not kidding. They look like ants compared to it. Seeing that, all the villagers praised Yasracha's strength, and I was completely forgotten. Yasracha told them that wild animals are dangerous and shouldn't be tamed. He said that they can only be overpowered or killed. And he told the villagers that the giant rabbits must be eliminated from the village to prevent such monsters from reappearing. People thought that Yasracha was right, so they began abandoning or beating and killing the rabbits that had been raising as pets. The dead bodies of brutally murdered rabbits were found throughout the village. And the rabbits, which had been lucky enough to escape or be abandoned, ran back to the mountain in fear. I couldn't stop them. I actually do feel a little bad for him here. Because, I mean, you work so hard to give these animals a better life, but I can kind of see where it's coming from, though, too. Where he says that they can only be overpowered or killed. Kind of like if that monster came down here to hunt those rabbits, because the rabbits were the ones that were dying, it seems like, then he probably ended up taking food away from them, and they had to come down further. It's like in real life, you know. Deer eat the grass, and then something else eats the deer, you know. And if you were to take the deer, or the deer went into a different area, then guess what? The things hunting the deer would also move to a different area because they don't have any food. It's like the circle of life. So I can understand, but also it's like these people were raising these animals as pets, and Ysracha's like, you need to kill them, and they're like, okay. Like, I don't think if someone told me that monsters were going to keep coming to my village because of my animals, I don't think I would have the heart. No, not even that. I would not have the heart to sit there and just like kill my animal or even abandon them. I love them too much. It's just like the fact that like they even have little collars made and leashes for these things, and they're just like, nope, they're dead now. Like, I don't know if I could do that. So all of this felt like it was my fault. I couldn't take it anymore. So I risked my life and went to see Ysracha. That seems to have like all these, there's like a similarity to each of these stories we've seen so far, where, you know, there's this meeting with Ysracha. Either Ysracha meeting with them, or they're seeking out Ysracha. I told him that people began hating and killing innocent rabbits because of him. I said that I had to tell him that I believed that his violent ways were wrong, even if it meant endangering my own life. I told him how I had tamed the giant rabbits, and said that animals and people have to find a way to live together in peace. Hearing what I had to say, Ysracha simply laughed and disagreed. Violent? Do you think your approach is any less violent than mine? Come with me. I'll show you what kind of person you are. I went with Ysracha. Ysracha took me somewhere in the giant mountain range, connected to the mountain behind the village. What the villagers simply thought of as the mountain behind the village was actually part of an enormous mountain range. And what I saw there shocked me. Oh, yeah, and there's the rabbits, and they're hunting the rabbits. The rabbits are their food supply. So when he reduced the amount of rabbits, he reduced their food supply. So it is kind of like what I theorized happened. So yeah, it's tricky. Dealing with wild creatures is definitely tricky. There's even like some places where they will reroute animals because, you know, they're either going to be building there or things like that, and they need to put them somewhere else, and then they need to show the animals that hunt them where they are, because if not, they're going to come to that area and that can endanger other people. So it's like a whole process. Most of the time, animals are just smart enough to figure it out on their own that, oh, hey, look, they're not here anymore. Like, they know food source has moved. You need to go find food source elsewhere. And that's, like, also the thing with, like, deers in cities and stuff, too. And why in some places, like, where I used to live, there's a lot of people who like to feed the deers. And where I used to live, that it was literally illegal. You could not feed the deers. Because, for one, deers can carry diseases that can be transmissible to humans. And, so that was one of the reasons. And two, where I live is in the Midwest, so most suburbs are just surrounded by a lot of woods. Even in, like, cities, like in populated areas. And, so we were told, like, a family member was putting out feed, because, you know, this isn't a rule that everybody knows, and the police had come by and they're like, you can't feed the animals. Why not? It's against the law here because they could carry diseases, and you're also showing them that you're gonna feed them rather than finding food for themselves, which is also another problem. It's a whole ordeal. A bunch of those terrifying monsters was devouring the giant rabbits. The rabbits were their food. Yep. That's when I realized why those monsters had come to the village. Yep. Do you get it now? Those beasts have been feeding on giant rabbits for ages. They're quite intelligent. So they try to stay out of human territory as much as possible. That's why they never appeared on the mountain behind the village, which allowed the rabbits to escape there. If you had just left them alone, the beasts would have come and gotten rid of the rabbits for you eventually. But because you brought the rabbits into the village and stopped them from breeding, the beasts didn't have enough food, so they had to come near the village. If I hadn't gotten rid of the rabbits in the village, the hungry beasts might have even gone and harmed the villagers. Then all those innocent people would have been killed, and these beasts would have been slaughtered by the government troops. That whole tragedy would have occurred because of one arrogant anima who thought that he could control nature. Do you still think I'm more violent than you? I couldn't say anything. This is one of those instances where I hate to say it, but I do kind of agree with Ysracha on this. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that I literally live around a crap ton of wildlife, and you just know that you don't mess with the wild animals. There are some people who like to feed them, but even then, you know, you're not supposed to tame them. The only time we really get people who like to feed is like with nature photography and stuff, where they'll put feed out for them to get pictures and stuff. Some people do like to feed out the kindness of their heart, make sure they got plenty of food. But you're not supposed to. Yeah, the golden rules around here: you don't tame wild animals, you don't feed them, you leave them alone and they leave you alone. That's basically how it is. I couldn't say anything. What came over me at that moment was not a feeling of guilt towards the animals that had died, but a feeling of helplessness that I, an anima, who had failed to control the situation. I'm not trying to blame you. I actually understand how you feel. See, now I'm confused. Because I think this story is showing that Ysracha, like in the last story, he seemed like more of an evil dictator, right? But this story, he seems a lot more compassionate, I guess is the best way to put it. He's not saying that what this guy did was right or wrong. He's just saying, look, you did something that wasn't good for the environment, and those were the consequences of that. And I understand how you feel. You just wanted to protect them, but how could you understand? Well, okay, well, maybe not. Hold on. Maybe I underestimated him, or overestimated him. What people like you actually want is complete control over others. And animals are much easier to control than people. Never mind. I take it all back. Should have read the next sentence. Other than that, though, besides for that, what the actions he took in this, I don't see as necessary. Okay, other than telling an entire town to just kill their pets. But, I mean, what he said to him, you know, you can't, reducing the population reduces the food source. I get that. It's a tricky slope. That's not true. Stop being such a hypocrite. Show that disgusting, arrogant desire to dominate everything. That's your true nature, and what you will become. If you can be honest with yourself, I'll give you the power to control a lot of things. The power to control? It was too sweet an offer to refuse. He knew me. Well, there you go, guys. Overestimated him. Back to being a dick. Tower of God, 52nd floor, all-out fights. Oh, we're back to the present now. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. We got Chai here. Dash. Swing. Bam. Bam. Pow, whack, pow, whack. He's an absolute beast. Pow, thud, thud, thud. Now hot. Go for the division commander while I hold back the hostages. Shh. Purification. The distant and mysterious eastern sea that shaped the sword. It's said to be a sea that purifies all things. The reason that this sword obeys me, even though I'm not a ranker, is because I may be weak, but I'm also slightly more transparent than rankers. Take it. Is this a sword? Yes, it's a sword. Wow, and you're giving it to him? Lucky him. I'm your student too. Well, you have anything for me? Is this supposed to be Layra Rowe here? He looks a little different. But I do see, like, his distinguishing features. It's from Lul Kaisung, not me. They seem to have chosen it very carefully because you're Bomb's companions, and they wanted to give you something that would be useful. It's even an ignition weapon. It would be dangerous if anyone finds out that this is connected to Lul Kaisung. So if anyone asks where you got it, just tell them you found it by chance in the tower. What? An ignition weapon? Can regulars use it? Okay, that looks more like Layra Rowe. The side profile just... The art I have seen is a little off, and I think that may be because SIU said that he got new assistants, so I think that part of that may be his new assistants learning to still draw these characters yet. Because I'm sure that, you know, he, especially with his injuries, he probably relies a bit more on his assistants than probably what he had in the past to draw. Also, though, if you see, like, if you look over time, how more detailed the backgrounds are. Not everything is detailed, but it's gotten a lot better as you go. Like, even just, like, because I've been reading Season 2 stuff recently, and you can just tell, like, the backgrounds just have gotten so much better and appear a lot more. It's from Lul Kaisung, not me. They seem to have chosen it very carefully because you're Bomb's companions. Oh yeah, we already read that. Can regulars use it? Yes, D-rank regulars can use it. I was surprised too. But the sword is very proud. Sword doesn't listen to people who are too strong. Its strength and abilities also change depending on the situation and its mood. And many rankers have died trying to ignite the sword. What, died? Yes. They passed out and never woke up. What? A scary weapon, clasp. Don't take out the sword or try to ignite it unless you absolutely have to. Funnily enough, the sword is more likely to listen to those who are weak, but only if its owner is free of greed and has a pure mind. If someone tries to use the sword with even slightly bad intentions, it can even kill them. It has a mind of its own, so it's dangerous. I'm giving you this sword because I think you have a purer mind than anyone I know has. I think that is 100% true. Like, and by pure, I mean, like, he has certain goals he wants to get, and that's really all he thinks about. And he's not really greedy. He works hard to reach his goals. You mean it can kill you if you're too greedy? I know Hats isn't that kind of person, of course, but it's too dangerous. It's better not to use it. That's right. It's better not to use if possible. Then why are you giving it to him? Swords are dangerous by nature. But it would be silly not to have a sword just because it's dangerous. It's certainly a dangerous sword, but as you climb the tower with Bomb, eventually you'll need it. When you're in a situation where you're willing to risk your life for something, if you focus entirely on that goal and ignite the sword, then I'm sure it will lend you its power. Just focus on saving these brainwashed people. Swish, swish, shh, shh. If I don't ask for any more than that, I'm sure the sword will help me. Donghei. Shh. We've been waiting to see this ignition for quite some time, so this was quite the build-up. Ignite! Oh, I'm taking it in. I'm taking it all in. He's got the sword out. Whoosh. Just once. I can't take any more than that. Just this once. Poof, 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 poof. Poof, poof. Please work. Slash. He went whoosh. Oh my gosh. Swoosh. Everybody stopped in their tracks. Look, I'm literally like I'm leaning in. I'm on the edge of my seat here. Ping, 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 ping. Cub. Oh, wait. Whoosh. Look at this. Is this all from the sword? This has to be all from the sword. These dots. Oh. Here's him in the middle. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Shh. Ping, ping. It's getting rid of these things. Shh. Shh. What's going on? My days. It's getting weaker. Ping. Shh. Ping. 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 Shh. Ping. Ping. Even the rabbits. After all that, he still took them rabbits. Didn't it work? Nice! He's losing control over them. I can't believe it. How could a regular break my spell? Thank you for the chance, Hots. Whoosh. I won't let it go to waste. Swoosh. Crash. I said this last time too, but you guys recognize that his chair transformed with him. Crumble. Regeneration isn't working. You bastards! Whoosh! Primal punch. Lethal move. Krr, krr, krr. Tear him! Swish, ksh. Hold on. I'm sorry guys. I have to go back and take a look at these panels and just absorb what's going on. This is Cha's move now. Did he get him? I think he got him. He got him, guys. He got him. Swish. Swish. Is he done for? He's out of transformation. It looks like thud. I can't believe you were keeping so many hostages in that pyramid. You're not just twisted. You're evil. You get him, Cha. You get him. Hey, stay back. Damn it. Oh, look at him. Getting blood everywhere. Stay in one spot. That's what you're supposed to do. No, really. Like, in first aid, if you do have, like, a bloody nose or you're bleeding, you're supposed to stay in one spot and apply pressure until the blood stops, if it does. But you're not supposed to run around with it. Because then you're contaminating everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's with me tonight. I'm tired and so I'm saying random shit. Why am I being humiliated like this? Lotus Ratchet gave me his power and put me at the top of the pyramid. Ugh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Hey. I've always looked after you animals. Are you trying to help me? Come here. I want to tell you what I think is about to happen. We about ready to see ReZero 2.0. If you don't know what I'm referring to, watch season 2. With the bunny rabbits. Come here and keep that man away until I get out of here safely. Done. 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 Huh? Let's see. Hold on. We gotta change up the music here. Rish. What are you doing? You're supposed to protect me. Are you disobeying me? I'm your master. Roar. Chomp. Oof. Damn. Oh. Hot seems like he's hanging in there though, so that's good. Although, wouldn't that hurt? He's grabbing the sword here. Isn't he like slicing his hands, or is it not that kind of sword? I guess it's more of a needle than a sword, but still. Oh wait, hold on. The stuff's around it, so perhaps it's back in its thing. Kendrick Deal. You always seem to be sitting. Is something wrong with your legs? No, Lord Ysracha. Are you comfortable with me sitting, if that's the case? No, I'm just asking, purely out of curiosity. I see. I'm trying to avoid doing things myself, starting with walking. Is that so? One day, it suddenly occurred to me that the dumber and more basic the animal, the more it requires its legs. It also occurred to me that I can get around just fine without using my legs. My job is to command others, not to move myself. I don't have to walk anyway, so I decided not to. That's an interesting idea. So you're saying you don't need to walk since you can just get others to do things for you. As you like then? Yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord Ysracha. I knew you would understand. Very impressive. Well, I'd better get going. My legs are a symbol of how much more evolved he is than other animals. Yet he's proud to choose a regression to show off his own power. That should be such a foolish choice to make for an animal whose life revolves around survival and evolution. Yet it's also a very human choice. Oh! Ooh! Oof! Ouchies, that looks painful. I say, he's dead, he ain't feeling crap. You really have become wonderfully corrupt, Kendrick Deal. Hots! Are you okay, Hots? It hurts so badly. It feels like my insides are going to explode from the pressure. It feels is this what it feels like? Every time you use that power of yours? Bum, slide, hots. Thud, hots. Bum's part of the field. This is a long chapter. A new turn has begun. The number of squares and direction. 4 squares forward. I see. You're going that way, huh? So you'd rather face the map boss than deal with me. No matter how strong the map boss may be, it can't be stronger than a legendary high ranker. I suppose that makes sense, but you'll probably regret it. White is going to catch up to me eventually unless I take this route. I don't have a chance of beating White right now. It's better to go with the route that has at least slightly better odds, even if there's an unknown factor. I'm going to avoid White and take the jumping route. If I can beat all the monsters in one turn, I might not have to face White. Even if I run into an extremely powerful monster, I'll be able to cross the map in the shortest amount of time. I'd like to move forward by 4 squares. Alrighty. Swoosh. Would you like to open the prison? Yeah, hurry! The prison is now opening. Please note that the monsters will come out of this prison. Grrr! It's huge. Is there just one monster? As I explained earlier, the jumping route allows you to save time, but the monsters in the prison are also much stronger. The monster that emerged from the prison is a middle area beast that even rankers were afraid of. This is his breeding season, so the male's even more aggressive than usual. Don't let your guard down just because there's only one monster. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Whoosh! Oh, what is he doing? He's got his hand out. He's about to do something. Wham! Ugh! He's right. It's way stronger than the other monsters. Skid! Come on. This isn't very entertaining to watch. Use that thorn or whatever to kill it. You think I'm going to fall for that? I know you want me to use all my energy here so that you can catch me. I was just trying to give you some helpful advice. I mean it. I don't want that thing to steal my prey. You still haven't really used the power within you. You just use little bits and pieces of each power. You'll never gather enough power that way. You have to command the power within you to gather together as one, with as much force as you can muster. When all your powers are directed in a single direction at a single target, then they're compressed into one. White man, this dude really over here like, look, I'm gonna teach ya. Listen up. I'm gonna kill you later, but I need to teach you first. So, teachable moments. It's Mr. White, everybody. Teacher White over here. Then they're compressed into one. That's the only way for you to properly use your own power. Flash. Command my powers to gather together? What is it? Are you interested? No. I'm not interested in hearing what a nasty person like you has to say. Slam. Oof. Swish. It seems like he did listen, even though he says he didn't. It seems like he did take his lesson. You sure are stubborn, but I don't think this is going to go quite as smoothly as you wish. Swish. Roar. His horn got even bigger. Slayer candidate. It's only a matter of time until you set your powers on fire. The day when I first devoured another person's soul, I was extremely confused. I wondered, is it right to consume other people's souls like this just to gain power? If I can't take it back, how should I feel about the powers of the other people within me? Because of my thirst for power, I continued devouring souls in spite of my confusion, and as I obtained more power. Strangely enough, at some point, that intense confusion simply vanished. All I heard was the clear sound of a single sword. Swing! The cries of all those souls I devoured were silenced as they're cut down by my blade. It was then that I learned about myself. I've always been different from them. I've been a ruthless predator since birth. I was destined for a blood-soaked crown. There was never any need to worry about any of that. This power could only be obtained by getting blood on my hands. This crown may be blood-stained, but it is a token given to a lord who towers over the dead. You are the same as me. I want to see you get drunk on your own enormous power. Wham! And put on this blood-stained crown yourself. I want to see you corrupted by great power. You know, it's kind of funny though, there's speculations right now that Bomb's gonna end up devouring White. And this is kind of foreshadowing. I want to get you see drunk on your enormous power and put on this blood-stained crown yourself. Imagine if just like on top, you know, he's got thorn here, and then it's just like White's crown above him when he activates, along with, you know, the horns. But the difference is that he isn't corrupted by it. Like White wants him to, at least. Okay, well, that is that. I'm going to take a quick break and switch over to discussion. So, here in a little bit, if you guys want to talk about anything in particular, write it down in the chat. And we will get started soon. I will be right back. Alright, we are back. We're doing a little bit different this week because the conversations typically on the Reddit, especially on the night that the chapter just comes out, are a little, what is it? I don't know. I can't think. But, since there are always, like, only just a few at this point, we'll go and we'll start here first. And right now, and right there, White can't comprehend it. Wanting power for the sake of being strong and wanting power for the sake of protecting and saving others are fundamentally two different things in the long run. No matter how much he believes Baum will end up like him, he won't. And even the Guardian noticed how he was different from Jihad. Exactly. I agree 100%. That's why I said I think a lot of people speculate that Baum will end up absorbing White's soul or something in the long run. And what I'm saying to that is, whether that's true or not, no matter what happens, he can't, Baum will never end up being corrupted like White is, because what they want are two different things. Baum doesn't want to become powerful for the sole purpose of being powerful. He wants to become powerful so he can, excuse me, I have the hiccups, so he can protect the people he likes, or loves, wants to protect, friends, family, but however much he considers them. Okay. Wow. Can we just pause to appreciate the detail SIU puts in? Hold on, real quick. I need to like it. I'm glad to see, like, this is starting to come up again. Because a few weeks ago, I went to go heart the chapter, and there were only, like, 5,000 likes so far, so I'm glad that people are really starting to hit that like button again. Okay, anyway. Wow, can we just pause to appreciate the detail SIU puts into even his side villains? And there are deeper messages too. It's so interesting. Sad but true, how human lives will always be put above that of animals. When the animals endanger human lives in some way, even though it really wasn't their fault. That's what I was trying to get at earlier. I was realizing I was explaining it pretty poorly. And I was thinking that along the lines of that, you know, human lives will always come above animal lives, and that's kind of where I was trying to get at when people like are constructing something like a new town or whatever, and they have to like kind of reroute the wildlife there, so that way people don't get hurt in the process and the animals can find a new place to live. It's like a whole thing. Remember to hit that heart button and make Tower of God back on the top of the charts where it rightfully belongs. Agreed. It's getting, I so disagree with that. More and more boring. If you don't like it, then you don't have to comment. Just go elsewhere. Or if it's boring to you, at least like say why it's boring. Like, I don't like the kind of comments where they're just like, it's boring, it's dumb. There's no point in commenting that, okay? So you don't like it. Move on. Now, if you want to give constructive criticism on why you don't like it, that's a different thing. And I can probably agree with you on those things. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand. It can be like that sometimes. But this, no, I don't like comments just like that. If anyone may be corrupted, I feel like it might be Wang Nan. His reasons for wanting to rule the power are eerily similar to John's. I haven't spoken about this yet because it hasn't really been a thing that has been something we've been able to talk about. Well, I'm trying to fix this camera. Yeah, there we go. Because it hasn't really been something we've been able to talk about yet. But yeah, I mean, I do worry about Wang Nan being corrupted and maybe becoming a villain later on. I hope that's not the case because I love Wang Nan. But it is very eerily similar to Jihad, and that may have something to do with, you know, him being a prince or whatever it is, because we don't really know a whole lot about that yet. And in order to reach the goal, he'll need to distractingly increase his power, possibly in an illegitimate way. LMAO white bomb will never be corrupted. Miss Racha has a chunk cat as her ride. I love this comment. Yes, he does. No, Wyatt, I refuse to watch Bomb turn out like... I don't know what that is. White kind of reminds me of Shu from TG. I don't know what that's supposed to be, what TG is supposed to be. Yusracha truly knows how to bring out the worst in people. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking, well, maybe, you know, we're seeing a word like a lighter side of Yusracha. And I was like, never mind, I take it back. he's an asshole. White is truly a Hisoka-like character, although he's truly callous. His relationship with the main character is so dynamic and even borders on mentorship. That's why I call him Teacher White. Like, he confuses me so much because he says he wants to kill Bomb and eat his soul, and he wants him at his strongest, so I get why he's teaching him, but at the same time, it's like a mentorship. He's like, if you want to get stronger, you need to do this. And then Bomb's like, no! And then he goes, well, maybe I'll try it. I don't know if he was actually trying it there, but it kind of looked like he was thinking about it. Oh, so that's how Kendrick got that power. Cool. Anyway, holy shit, Hot's activating Donghae. It looks so cool. Yeah, I agree. I love how they started that. What an awesome sword he got for just being so pure. I was saying that too. He really is a pure person. And not in the pure sense of he's like super innocent, but he has goals and he sticks by them and he works hard to get those goals. Good thing that after that, Cha Cool easily took down Kendrick. That rhino creature that Bomb is fighting kind of looked like Rock on its first panel. Well, I can't wait until next week to see if Bomb can defeat it without using White's advice. We'll see. I guess he didn't use White's advice then. I thought he did, or I guess he was thinking about it. Like how every villain backstory tells a message. That's what I was saying at the beginning. And I hope people don't hate me on that, you know? Because they all do, they have their own message, or they're promoting this idea of what Ysracha is like. And there's a reason they're being told, and it's not just to buy up time. White be crazy, but he's so gorgeous, I don't even care. A lot of people do like White like that. Such a thought-provoking chapter. In White, you've got another thing coming. We'll see. Thank you so much for this big and great chapter. This chapter was long. I have always said I love long chapters. I mean, I think it took me like an hour to just read and react to it. Alrighty. Prediction: the Queen of Scum is going to be the final boss on Bomb's route. Who's the Queen of Scum supposed to be? No idea. Just no idea. Anyway, let's go over here now. Finally, mystery about Sword is revealed. Not fully, I think. Cha is OP AF. Literally one-shotted a division commander. True. Although, I think his, I think Hots kind of helped him out a bit because he couldn't regenerate. Great support from Hatsu. Also, there we go. Stop mind control of the HR for a moment is not a small thing. Not surprising considering that Cha fought during the War of Genesis, where multiple 10 family members took part and died because of him and the Hidden Grove. I know, right? I love how SIU is giving us all these backstories. It's so different this week! Like 2 weeks ago, people were bitching about the extra side characters for villains, and now everybody's like, I love it! I love how, you know, later on this week, once more and more people start filtering, those comments will come too. Because I check out the Reddit maybe for about 10-15 minutes a day. I'll just scroll through and answer questions that I find interesting and stuff. I don't spend too much time on it, but I do like to go, especially if I'm kind of looking, like, because I try anyway to do 2 original videos. Probably won't be able to do them this week or next week because I have my photography thing and I'm going to be working all week. I don't know if you can tell I'm more tired than usual today. That's because I worked yesterday and I've been editing today, so I'm kind of like creativity, I don't even know. I don't even know the words. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. And, not gonna lie, the 2-headed monster startled me a little. Yeah, it's downright freaky. I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, damn. I like how SCU is giving us all these backstories for the enemy because killing them, backstories of the enemy before killing them off in very fitting ways, may I add, somehow makes them feel more relatable instead of just being pure cannon fodder. And I'm sure they will mean something more than we finally get to Ysracha in detail. I think these characters, and I know Dr. Bonehead said this a bit too, like I said before, if you like my content, you like Dr. Bonehead's content, and he talks a lot more about Tower of God in general. But what I'm saying here is that, I don't know, what am I saying? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I think these stories are supposed to build up who Ysracha is. And then we get the little bit with Ysracha and Yama, where we see his character directly from himself, but the backstory is related to Ysracha, so it's more interesting because we get to know more about Ysracha's personality. I agree. Yo, Hot's coming in clutch. I hope he's fine, though. He seemed okay, just, like, super exhausted. And he said that he was in pain. He's probably going to be out of commission for the rest of this fight. I just hope that being out of commission doesn't hurt their chances of survival. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. We are in the middle of a war. I say that every single week. We are in the middle of a war right now. White's giving little tidbits to Bomb to draw out his true power. Will Bomb ever end up where White wants him? Getting so power hungry, always loving the art of this. Can't wait for next week. My only criticism is that I can tell there's a difference within the art style. Hello, Tyler. How are you doing? But other than that, you know, and I think most of that is just because he's gotten new assistants. So it's kind of like, you know, not too big of a deal. Oh, so that's how Kendrick got that power. Cool. Oh, wait. Okay, this is... Oh, this is from what they said on the... Whoops. Toon site. Didn't he use just... No, White said to concentrate soul power in a single point, and Bomb did exactly. That's what I thought he did. He was like, I'll never do it. And then that's kind of what it looked like he did. But it could just be he was using Shinsu or whatever. Corruption appears to be the theme of today's chapter. I want to see Yasuracha versus White, just to see what Yasuracha says to White. Yasuracha's evil talk, no jutsu, wouldn't be too effective. Okay. Well, I think that's about it. I think we've talked about most of what the chapter has to talk about. So, with that being said, I love how he's like eating a burger here. And he's drinking a Coke. A soda. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I thought it would be nice to talk. Oh yeah, I just got finished reacting to the latest chapter of Tower of God. Do you know what Tower of God is? And I don't know if I said it or not, but I'm doing pretty good. He won't do it, White. I'm telling you, he isn't you. That's true. White's speech just made me think, wow, that's deep. SIU never failed to amaze me. You don't. That's okay. So it is a comic on Webtoon. It's... This is like, we're really far in now. I forget exactly what this is. We're at 494 episodes, so this is way far in. If you did want to, like, watch a series, I have a YouTube channel, same name, Nightfire Ox, you could go to, and there's a playlist that I've been doing where I've been rereading the series, so you could watch that and get kind of caught up if you wanted to do that. But it's difficult to explain. It's a story... Well, the story's changed a lot. How do I put this? Well, this is kind of how they explain it. What do you desire? Money and wealth, honor and pride, authority and power, revenge, or something that transcends them all. Whatever you desire is here. So it's basically a story about climbing a tower, and the people who climb the tower are all after something. And the people who get to the top get their wishes granted, while others will die. There's a lot more in detail to that. I highly recommend it. No, I'm not explaining it over Snapchat. I don't even have a Snapchat. So, no. No, thank you. Anyway, I have to go. Let's see. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. Tower of God reread tomorrow. And then we'll talk about more of the rest of the schedule. Don't forget, Cubera will be for the next weeks on Wednesdays instead of Saturdays. Because I have photography shoots that I gotta do. I hope you guys have a good night. If you are watching this here on Twitch, please follow me here. If you see this later on YouTube, you can like and subscribe there. I will see you guys all next time. Bye bye.